geeks and comic book losers and all the smart sorts. This is for the tabletop dice rollers and poetry readers and every nerdy kid who's still repping the art forms.
Welcome to the Comic Drop, your weekly spot for comic news and new comics. I'm your host Antonio, and this is Hi-De-Ho Comics in Santa Monica. Starting off the week with Marvel, we have Darth Vader #2, written by Kieron Gillen with art by Salvador Larroca. It's great to see an issue 2 so closely following the first issue, especially for a series as big as this, and it picks up right where the last issue left off. Darth Vader's being a badass. That's what we've all wanted to see since we first saw him in A New Hope. And it's really great to see Darth Vader, taking on threats that we never got to see him fight in the movies, especially like some things from the prequels being experienced in the original trilogy setting. So yeah, pick up Darth Vader #2. Moving along with Marvel, we have Secret Avengers #13, written by Les Cott with art by Michael Walsh. This series has been a trip from the start. I mean, this is just some good Matt Fraction Hawkeye mixed with some Based God MODOK and a little bit of Spider-Woman and Mariah Hill to sort of whet our appetites. I mean, this is almost the end. It's been a lot of fun, and they're going to go out with style. I mean, I can't say any more, but Deadpool. Next in Marvel, we have All New X-Men #38, written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Andrea Sorrentino. This is really cool because it's the first issue since Sorrentino signed his exclusive deal with Marvel, and he's really at home in the Marvel Universe. I mean, his work on Green Arrow was great, but this is where he thrives. We get to see Ronan the Accuser show up in this book, and he is awesome. Really, Black Vortex has been worth it so far on the art alone, but stuff finally starts happening in this issue, and I gotta say, it's a lot of fun. Moving right along, we have The Amazing Spider-Man #15. This is the Spider-Verse epilogue by Dan Slott. So now that Spider-Verse is over, all of the various Spider-Men have to find their way home. And I mean, it's a little bittersweet, but we do get to see some final endings to things that we weren't sure quite how they'd come to a close, namely Superior Spider-Man. We get to see quite how they wrap that up with a bow. And then we get some pretty direct setup for Secret Wars, which is cool. And it ends with a good feel-good moment, Final ending. Last at Marvel this week, we have New Avengers #30 by Jonathan Hickman. We are almost at Secret Wars coming in, I believe, April, and Hickman is taking no time getting us to the end. I mean, really, just with everything sort of coming to a close and universes dying, this issue, Hank Pym just spells it out for us. We are fucked, and we just need to get prepared to learn how to lose, and it's really cool. I mean, to see what the Beyonders are doing in this issue it shakes your entire belief of a comic book reader as what you knew from when Jim Starlin first took to the cosmic entities of the universe. This is really cool stuff. Batman Eternal #47 starts DC for us this week. I mean, Batman Eternal is just a treat every week, and the art in this issue is awesome. Really, it's just really fun to see all of the Batman villains really doing their dreams, desires, like they're there's some messed up stuff in here, with Mr. Freeze creating like an ice family of mannequins to Clayface reenacting his favorite moments with Batman and the Joker pretending to be Batman himself. We get to see the entire Bat family sort of take their moment, and we get a hint at who the Hush is really working for, though only a hint. DC goes out with a bang this week with Batman #39, Part 5 of Endgame by Scott Snyder with art by Greg Capullo. If you've been a fan of Scott Snyder, this is the issue for you. Shit hits the fan, and I mean shit hits the fan. We see the Bat family, we see all of his rogues, we see the Court of Owls. Everything that we've been reading from the start of Court of Owls, culminates in this issue. It's all coming together. The Joker is fucking terrifying. We learned that none of the origin stories we've learned are true. Maybe they are. We really don't know. Read this issue. It's damn good. Moving right along to Image Comics, we have The Wicked Plus the Divine #8. This is by Kieron Gillen and Jamie McKelvey. This book is awesome. I mean, I love this book. This is like gods and mythology mixed with pop stars and celebrities and our idols in a modern culture, and examining all of that, and it's just really cool. And it's got this great sense of design that I love. Image Comics has really been pushing these new age artists that really know what they're doing with design. This book is just really cool. Check it out. And Dionysus is in it. He has a party. It's a real trip. It feels like you're tripping when you read it. It's really cool. From Oni Press this week, we have The Life After #7. This is by Joshua Hale Fialkov, and I really want to talk about this book because I got to read Volume 1 and Issue 6 a little while back, and I loved it, and I totally didn't get to talk about it the week it came out, so now Issue 7 is out, I get to talk about it. This book is awesome. I love things that dissect mythology and religion and all of that stuff. This is my shit. This is so cool. and we get to see more about the bunny god that we were introduced to the last issue, and he's just so cool. Just read this book. It's a lot of fun. Now, with this week's episode, I wanted to try doing something different than the top picks of the week. Since, I mean, everything I picked in this pile is something I loved and I want you to read and I think is a lot of fun. But I do want to single out one book specifically every week. And so to do that, I'm going to start a new segment called Comics Are for Girls. Because they really are. They're for all of us. And I just want to basically every week highlight one book that is either about a female protagonist or by a female creator, an artist, or a writer. And so this week, I am very excited to announce my pick for Comics Are for Girls is Spider-Gwen #1. Now, if you guys are fans of the podcast or the show, or really just me in general, or my friend, you know I love Spider-Gwen. I think it's an awesome concept. I think that they are really onto something. Jason Latour has really knocked this out of the park, both in design and in story. This is just a great book. We get our first issue this week. The art is by Robbie Rodriguez, who's a really cool guy. He's actually going to be coming to an event for Free Comic Book Day. Check him out. He's really nice. His art is incredible. This book is so good. I can't recommend it enough. They've really hit their stride with Spider-Gwen. And so just to tell you a little bit about Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy from this Earth, she was bitten by the spider that in the normal 616 universe bit Peter Parker, and she became Spider-Woman. Not Spider-Girl, Spider-Woman. It's awesome. And so in this universe, she formed a band called the Mary Janes. She was the drummer for them. She's badass. And Peter Parker was still bullied and picked on for being a nerd. And it drove him to create a serum that turned him into the Lizard. This sort of lent to his death and has sort of scarred Spider-Gwen. Basically, that's her Uncle Ben moment. And so now she has to deal with that, and the public hates her. They think that she killed Peter Parker and that she's a menace. And this issue, we get to see her take on someone who is an actual menace. We see her take on Adrian Toomes. You might know him better as the Vulture. And it's a great clash of, you know, modern young girl versus old conservative male, and it's really great. It's a lot of fun. And we get introduced to their version of Frank Castle. Very cool. Check out Spider-Gwen #1, Comics Are for Girls. That's it for the news this week. Thank you for watching The Comic Drop, your weekly spot for comic news and new comics. Check back next week for more comic book talk. Thank you. I've been your host, Antonio, and this has been Heidi Hill Comics in Santa Monica. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere you can think of. And, you know, hit us up if you have your picks, comment in the video, and let us know what you like this week. Have a great night, guys.